There are two, Scott.
Welcome to the AI Show. I'm Scott Stevenson, co-founder of Deepgram. With me is Jeff Ward, a.k.a. Susan.
Hi, all.
He's a Navy pilot, acclaimed dad joke writer, and AI scientist at Deepgram. On the AI Show, we talk about all things AI. What is it? What can you do with it? How does it affect you? And where is it going? We're live and ready to answer your questions. Comment on YouTube and Twitch or tweet at Deepgram AI to join in. Today, we're asking the question, a very big question. What will the AI Utopia look like?
Yeah, we were a little negative, Debbie Downer, kind of not so happy on the last show.
Yeah.
And, you know,
This is a dystopia.
It was
What's
a dystopia.
What's a utopia?
It's easy, it's easy to get sucked into the trap of
Why be so negative, man?
things are going to destroy your life. But man, are there some cool things that it's going to do for us.
Yeah.
I'm really excited
what?
about this.
Like what?
Oh, well,
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me? You don't believe me? I'm just looking for all the easy ones. Let's you're going to live longer.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to live longer, Scott?
How's AI going to do that?
Well, I mean,
Better medicine, things like that.
better medicine. Bioinformatics, I'm not going to lie. If it weren't
pretty
for
dope.
the farm like bot world and the machine learning of speech recognition world,
Bioinformatics is up there for you?
bioinformatics is a solid number 3 of where
Yeah.
I would have gone.
I
Like
believe that,
it was
yeah.
amazing looking into the stuff that's going
Yeah.
on. Actually, NVIDIA had this really cool demo last year where they took like a 2D. I forgot it was MRI or something like that, and used machine learning to turn it into a 3D view.
Oh, yeah.
Automatically segmenting out like organs and all sorts of stuff. I mean, this is just like the level 1 stuff, right? Just take data and make it look pretty.
Yep.
But,
just give you a better view.
Exactly.
Take this thing that used to be slices, turn it into something that you can rotate around and look at it and be like, oh, there it is.
It's amazing. I mean, even without being a doctor, you can look at some of this stuff now and say, that's clearly not supposed to be there. You may want to get that looked at, right?
Well, speaking of NVIDIA, though, they use AI now to do ray tracing a lot better. And like, hey, you figure out a few things, but then fill in the rest using AI, and it can speed everything up, make it look awesome.
Yeah, I mean, let's get the brass tacks here. Better video games equals better life.
Heyo, yeah. Everybody likes that one.
Yeah, I mean that's just the incredibly obvious stuff, the world is just wide open for amazing new things, transformative things.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Pretty much everybody's seen cars driving around their city, mapping everything around. We all know the autonomous revolution is going to come upon us.
Yep.
But there's so many cool things that's going to enable.
Yeah.
Right.
Cars drive you around.
Yeah.
You take a nap.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. There's been a couple.
You play video games? Well,
there's been a couple evenings where I wanted a responsible vehicle to take me home, and that will be nice. But also,
the car hasn't had a few.
Yeah, exactly. I think you know what I'm talking about, Scott.
Yeah, you're sleepy.
Yeah. But how cool would it be to get into your car, after work on a Friday, and then stretch out your arms like this in the nice wide open space because you don't have the driving steering wheel and all there. Pull a blanket over yourself and wake up on the other side of the country. Well, not quite, but
Sure.
wake up 1,000 miles away.
Hey, we're in San Francisco. Why not end up in Denver?
Exactly. I'm gonna go skiing tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a little far. But yeah.
But just take me there, and wake me up every once in a while for a nice little break here and there. Right?
Shake the car a little bit. Okay, I'm up. I'm up. What?
I'm up. But even that. I mean, just that's talking about you and me. But what about Grandma, Grandpa?
Oh yeah.
Like, you just imagine the amazing freedom that they will have. I don't know about your particular extended family there, but I know that my grandparents basically reached a day when it's probably not a good day for them to drive.
Yeah.
Right?
And to have that conversation.
Yeah, the day before, good.
A few times.
The day after, probably not. This independence thing falls off so quickly. And yet, if you can, have self-driving cars, and it can be much longer, pushed off, more gradual. You'll still be programming in where they're going, probably.
Yeah.
You'll be getting the phone call. How do you tell it to go to the store?
One of my favorite Uber for X companies out there there are two companies, Silver Car and GoGo Grandparent.
I like it.
Basically Uber for old people, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But their great viral marketing technique was not like, Facebook ads or like videos or anything like that. It was like postcards that you would send to your friends. It's such a good idea.
I love it.
But yeah, hey, why not that? Grandparents get in the AI car, and now you don't have to have the human driving you around anymore, and they can,
they can still make it, Sunday dinners.
Exactly.
And,
take a
all
trip
sorts of stuff.
to go shopping, do all of that. Yeah.
So what do you think, Scott? What's a big area that you're thinking of?
I'm really big on my life becoming easier.
Ooh.
That would be awesome. So it's like you get in your car and you're about to drive somewhere, and you have to fumble with your Google Maps and put in a stupid address for it and be like, no, not that address, this other address. And I also want to make a stop along the way to go get some donuts or cookies or whatever, because hey, I'm going to this meeting or something like that. And like, why can't I make all this easier? Just talk to it like a human. Or I could or it just knows that, hey, it's 9:00 and Scott's going to work, you know. And
should we stop at the coffee shop, Scott?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Should
like
we,
ask. Yeah, exactly. So it's like,
politely
no,
ask.
it's okay.
Maybe
Yeah,
not today.
Yeah, but it suggests a really good thing. Bring in donuts or this. I already called ahead. Oh, great. All we have to do is stop by there.
You told me you told me last time your coworkers really appreciated you bringing in donuts.
Yeah, exactly. No, I heard, because I was present.
Through the AI grapevine.
Yeah, I was present because your phone was present, and it noticed, that everybody really liked that, and so maybe we should do that again.
People are happier with donuts.
So yeah, I think everything becoming we've already kind of noticed that. I mean, shopping has become easier because of technology. There's a lot of things become easier. You still have lots of annoying things that you have to do in life, and AI won't take care of all of them, but there's a lot that I think it could help with. But food is another big one for people.
Oh, yeah?
Not just agriculture. We should get there, but
yeah,
also what are we going to eat tonight? Oh, I don't know. What are we going to say?
If AI can solve that problem,
yeah. Well,
how many more marriages would be saved?
It's a discovery problem in a lot of ways, right? It's like if this machine learning program was able to give you something that you guys would both agree on, that you think actually that's new, that's interesting. Yeah, that's great. And not only that, it suggests here's a couple options, right? For that, you probably would want this, and this, and actually I would want that. Yeah, let's get that. Let's just see what happens, right? Mm-hmm. And then we can poo-poo it later. We can blame the machine,
exactly. Oh, man.
Yeah,
that's offloading blame.
Exactly. The machine did it.
I'm loving offloading blame right now.
Yeah, this is great, right? And so, but what about agriculture?
Oh man, agriculture. They're
plentiful.
There
food.
are, agriculture is rife with disruption for AI in very amazingly good ways.
Yeah.
One of my big hopes is that we will re-enable the small farmer again. Yeah. And that is because when you look at, big agriculture, they're all about taking huge tracts of land and trying to make it look very similar and
flatten it all out, make it all.
Yeah. Grow the exact same crop.
Yeah.
And that, because you get the economies of scale, you get everything the same. You can be really good
Yeah.
at
Farming
it.
is hard. It's not super, there's not a super high yield. Food doesn't cost all that much. So you have to do a whole bunch of it. And you have to do it cheaply.
And it, it takes a lot of intelligence and a whole lot of work to deal with any kind of difference.
Yeah.
So machine learning,
situational awareness as well,
take that off. Right? Imagine now you only have 10 or 15 acres, and it's got hills and nooks and crannies and all sorts of different stuff. The dirt over here is slightly different than the dirt over there.
Yeah.
Machine learning can help learn those differences and enable plant these crops there and plant those crops there. And then you take it to the next level. The automated machinery of the future could help automate doing all the farm tasks in a much more varied world. And suddenly,
it decides what to plant where. It goes and harvests it.
I think it's a guidance thing. I don't want to say, I don't want to fall in the trap of machine learning decides. I think it's an enablement thing more than a this is what you shall have on your land.
Well, I think it's more like, here's the plan. Is that okay? Yeah, that's okay.
Exactly.
Right? Go ahead. Go do it.
And
go to town.
That'll allow farmers, like any profession and any professional, to focus more on the harder pieces of it, So like start taking care of the average, give me a rough plan, and maybe I'll tweak it for for those little interesting things. I predict prices on this are going to be different, or maybe farm costs over here are going to be different for things that the machine can't take into account, and tweak it that way. And those are just a few of the small things. Talk about distribution, that's going to be revolutionized in farming. It's going to be faster to your table, it's going to be fresher to your table, it's going to be more diversity. If you do enable utilizing more of the land, you're going to enable a more diverse set of crops to come to market. I think that there's a lot in the future of food that machine learning is going to help, the farmer and the.
What about robots cooking?
My wife went to the robot hamburger joint here that opened up in San Francisco.
Good.
And, I think her take was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but
well,
I mean,
hey, that's
just
pretty good,
up, right?
That's pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, they're
like, I would assume the first one is like, no, it's disgusting. You don't want to go there, right? But hey, no, it's okay. It's fine. Yeah, well, that's pretty ringing endorsement.
Yeah,
then.
pretty ringing endorsement for
for a robot.
Scratch. Well, their big thing I think was it was literally ground exactly at that point, the moment it was ordered. So, but when they grind it in a way so that it makes it more tender, because now they can control literally as the little pieces of meat are put together.
Yeah, like exactly where they go.
They had some hook.
Well, that's cute.
Yeah,
everybody has to have a story. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. What about medical perspective? We're all going to live longer. We already heard that.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's talk about you and monitoring you and what you can get out of it.
Ooh.
Forget big medicine. Let's not talk about, being able to segment the body and find organs and find all sorts of things wrong with you or whatever. Let's hook up an AI that monitors you daily, takes your pulse, figures out your heart rate and your respiration, how much you're eating, what activities you're doing, and starts figuring out whether or not you feel good or bad and how to tweak you to get better. It's like,
and motivate you to get better.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Wait 5 more minutes. Or right now is the exact perfect time. Try these. Last time you did exercises, these were the ones that seemed to help you more than those.
Yeah.
The 16-ounce curls work best only once a week, not 5 times a week. But monitoring those things that actually make a difference in your life.
I could see how this would be life or death for children.
Oh man!
Start put a monitoring collar on your child.
With a little shock on
Are
it.
they?
No shocks. No shocks. That's
well,
not ethical.
That's the upgrade. But it tells you, are they alive or dead at any point in time? Are they drowning? Are they in distress? Take all the worry off. Now you can have free range kids again.
Just
right?
let them go.
Just let them go, because you could do this in the past. You could put all these sensors on them, but then what would you do with all the data? Right? You need some AI to tell you, like, actually this is the good. This is fine. They're fine.
They're fine.
This is the bad stuff, right? Oh well, something's going on.
Yeah, they probably will not be eaten by hyenas right now.
It serves the purpose of a scream, a little scream detector, a little, it could be good.
So I mean the personal bio world, I think is going to be really cool. But going back to transportation, I think there's an angle here that people aren't really thinking about.
I want to hear it.
Oh yeah, so I have a little bit of an aviation background and.
Just a little bit.
Bit.
Navy pilot, no big deal.
No big deal. No big
deal.
Anyways, people think about automation just taking someone out of the cockpit. They don't think that it gets rid of the cockpit. And
no more cockpit.
Yeah, you don't really realize, what that means for the redesign of an aircraft.
Why would they want to do that?
Why would you want
to take people out of the cockpit?
Well, ignoring the fact that the majority of problems actually happen between the yoke and the seat.
Meaning the person.
Meaning the pilots. It'll be safer and all that stuff. Just imagine what, from a design perspective, aircraft, a lot of the things that you don't realize are designed on an aircraft that cause a lot of extra weight and structure, have everything to do with just pilots being able to see, for example. I got to be able to see the runway, right? And that means I have to do all sorts of crazy things with flaps and stuff like that, just to be able to land and take off the plane, just so I can see the runway. If there's a machine, it doesn't need to see in the same way I do. So you don't have to have all that crazy structure dedicated to these weird changing surfaces.
Make it lighter, more efficient, less complicated.
Yeah, you can also design it for a better regime of cruise as opposed to the landing and takeoff, areas. Not as challenging design as it was before.
Just autonomous vehicles, but airplanes. That's
the same.
Doesn't have to be remote controlled.
Exactly. The same
fly
argument
itself.
now comes over to the self-driving car world. You can see it there. Like if you got rid of the center, the front, steering wheel and all the stuff on the console and all that stuff, you get a lot more room.
Got
back,
room to lounge, man.
Right. And this is one of the, not a plug for Tesla, but one of their things is, hey, because we've gotten rid of a lot of the engine components, there's a lot more room inside the cabin. Well, now you get even more of those components gone.
Yeah.
There's even more you can do, and you can
it's like a
stretch
hotel
out
room
and
in there
and turn around.
Yeah.
So going back to the aviation world, you can get smaller planes that go longer and further distances, and that just really opens up travel, I think.
Yep. Well, then does everybody live in a city now? Maybe you go farther away.
Yeah.
More urban sprawl, but is that a bad thing?
Depends on what you want. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I think that could happen.
Yep.
Drone delivery of your milk and eggs out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You could probably live
Amazon Prime for everybody.
Yeah, I've got my own personal lake.
Yeah.
300 miles away, and here comes the Amazon
land of
drone.
10,000 lakes, and one of them is mine.
Yeah, there you go. So that lakefront property becomes a lot more valuable as Amazon starts delivering there.
Yeah.
You're no longer disconnected.
I think also in the energy sector, there's going to be a big deal here.
That's cool.
Where it's like better use of the grid. This is already kind of happening, but better systems designed for that. And then systems to switch between, choose what you should do, price it, etc., make it more efficient. But also machine learning techniques to find out new power sources. So what I mean is fusion has been a promise for a long time, and it actually is really close to happening. And it's like, man, what's the real problem here? It might be the people, and saying, hey, here are the laws of physics, and here are the constraints that we have. It's probably going to be real complicated to make this work. Can we throw some computing power and a machine learning algorithm to guess at what the best type of fusion device would be? And there's been progress made on this.
Lots of progress lately. Yeah. I mean, I'm actually hearing the eternal joke of fusion's always
it's only
20 years away.
It's only 20 years away.
Now maybe
it might actually be 20 years away.
It might actually be now.
Yeah.
They're talking about, hitting equilibrium points, equal power points, or I forgot that term is called.
Over unity.
Yeah, over unity. There we go. In like 5-10 years, maybe. No? Now, actually capturing back the energy there is a different thing. But
who knows?
It puts out more than you put into it. That's a pretty cool thing.
Absolutely.
No, I'm super, super
Well, I mean, if you're
stoked.
turning into a steam thing and you just need to cool it down and whatnot, it can't be too hard to do that. But, heat is kind of easy to transport. But,
it's all wrapped in those superconducting magnets. So you got to get heat from in there, outside of there.
You got to pipe it out. Yeah.
I'm no
So this is
guy.
let the machine learning algorithm figure out those
Exactly,
problems. That's the point. That's the point. Yeah.
You know what I think will be a really cool one, and you're starting to see this actually, no kidding, right now today. Just like I can no longer spell as a human being, I will no longer need to write. I'll just type in like the 3 keywords, and it
just knows the idea that you're. Oh, that's what you're doing. Well, hey, Google already has a pretty good idea of how this goes, right? You put in your 3 keywords into Google, and it kind of knows what you're looking for here.
On
So,
second thought, maybe I should.
You've already been programmed for that.
Those top 10 results sometimes are not what I wanted.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So energy, I think, is big. Do you think anything in energy?
We're already seeing huge things along. Again, now I've brought up the same company twice. Tesla. Yeah, and
Powerwall.
Yeah,
solar.
They've done some pretty cool stuff with big batteries in Australia that's really paid off. But their next set of big projects are all about decentralized power. Here's your power wall in the home, but also becoming now a municipal power grid because all these things are linked together intelligently to take load and push load and all sorts of different stuff. So they're really trying to reshape the grid, and to do that, you're going to have some very intelligent controls, because it doesn't take. It only takes a little bit. Everybody deciding at the exact same moment to turn on their toaster to really throw a system out of whack. Talk about civil disobedience. You just put a big billboard at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Every single person go make toast. And then bam.
I love this idea.
Managing a grid is a lot more complicated than people think.
Yeah.
And these types of algorithms could potentially really, really cut down on problems with spikes like that.
Like I'm noticing a lot of toaster sales. People talking about toasters going on around here. I'm a little fearful that I'm going to have to crank it up.
Right after we're done here, I'm going to open up my browser and I'm going to see an advertisement to sell me a toaster.
Yeah. Well, I think there were some things in medical side that we didn't talk about, like identifying cancer, or being able to go into this imagery a lot better and tell you what's going on. I mean, you touched on like 3-dimensional reconstruction and being able to look at it better, but you can also have areas pointed out to you, like, well, this looks like a problem.
This is not your standard kidney.
Yeah.
I mean, totally. There's, one of the classic things in facial recognition. The first thing you always learn is about using principal component analysis or something along those lines to say, this is what the standard face looks like, right? So recognizing faces, and, recognizing those things. You can do that with effectively a kidney, but with a lot better results as you use much stronger techniques. And now, you walk in for your weekly, your monthly, your yearly exam, and, you just quickly zip around, do whatever MRI or whatever technique they're going to use to scan the inside of your body, and poof, 3-dimensional you with little highlights, green, yellow, red, black.
Ooh, shouldn't have done that when I was 18. Yeah.
It's like you may want to get that removed today.
Yeah.
This one, you just need to exercise a little bit more.
This is are there going to be robot AI powered doctors?
Ooh.
They're like strap you into a chair, dentist, and like do your dental work for you.
The whole telemedicine thing has been a growing thing for a long time, and one of the biggest problems I understand in that field is latency, right? It just takes a long, 1,000 miles at the speed of light, and all the equipment in between means if you're going to move a scalpel, you've got a little bit of a delay there. So machine learning could enable that a lot more. Again, getting to the point where the surgeon is maybe doing more about guiding what's going to go on, and not exactly doing
decision making,
what's
but
going
not
to go on. It does the perfect stitch for them.
Yep.
They don't actually have to
do a perfect stitch here.
Yeah.
Yep. And then do a perfect stitch here.
Exactly.
And then do another perfect stitch here.
Cauterize over there. Yep. I saw a while ago a really cool thing where they were taking imagery of a beating heart and fixing it with, I think there was like some sort of strobe light that would sync up to it, so the doctor would see it like synced up, and then the scalpel would actually, the tip of the scalpel would move to stay the same amount away from the beating heart.
That is awesome.
So that it looks like it's a still heart, and they could actually do surgery in real time,
but it's
on a beating heart.
That's pretty
dope. Things like that are just, that is the future of medicine.
Yep.
There's a competition to basically build the tricorder.
Oh.
Like every single year, they try to incorporate more and more of those things into it, and it only makes sense. It's like, don't you want your doctor to to be able to come in and just go?
Yeah, that's what's wrong with you.
Done. You didn't have to set up some sort of appointment, and there it is. We can see right in this right here. This is where it's going.
Well, I think scientific advancement might start coming quicker too, as ML and AI just really starts getting applied and used, just like electricity did,
Yeah.
you know, in the 1900s, or people figuring out radioactivity and going on that. But like once people start, or math or computers or whatever, like they try to find a researcher that's not using a computer to analyze data, you know. In 10 years, it'll be like, try to find a researcher that's not using machine learning to analyze data. You know, it's going to become like water to people.
Well, that was your world, teasing a weak signal out using machine learning techniques.
Absolutely, yeah. And you could try to set up rules and write them, but you know, it becomes hard, and because there are all these exceptions and whatever, and you're like, wow, okay, it's better. It might be better if I just tell it like, yep, that's right, yep, that's wrong, yep, that's right, yep, that's wrong. This is of that type, that's of this type, and then you just do that a few thousand times, and then say, figure it out yourself. You know, you pick all the parameters in order to satisfy that, and it works very well. You know, and it totally changes how you think about the world too. It's like, I could spend all my time writing an algorithm, or I could spend all my time getting relevant data and labeling it, and then how is that going to turn out in the end? And we're seeing over and over that spending the time on the algorithm is not usually the best option unless you have a very small amount of data.
Well, you know, there's a truism in the machine learning world, and we've kind of hit this before, but data will live forever. Your algorithm likely won't.
Yeah.
Right?
It always gets better.
The algorithm is what makes you money right now.
Yeah.
But I can almost guarantee you 10 years from now, it's not going to be that same model structure, or even, you know, fundamental technology, but you'll probably keep going back to the data set that you collected.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you see this all over the place. The academic data sets and text and images and speech that have existed for the past 40 years are still used to train models today.
Yeah, gives you a good baseline.
So, yep. Absolutely.
Although, you know, learning the habits of people in the 50s is, you know, probably isn't as relevant as, you know, collecting new data today. You know.
So my utopia is I want my robot friend. I don't know if it's a phone, if it's a physical like thing that can roll around and dance or something stupid, but you know, something that you can talk to and it does stuff for you. Maybe it doesn't have to physically do it for you, but call somebody up, or schedule a cake to be ordered, or you know, pick up donuts, or suggest food, and you're actually like, I like that. I'm glad I didn't have to go do that discovery. This is great. You know, tell me more, friend. You know, and that'll be really dope for me. What about you?
Oh, well, my personal I like the travel aspect personally. You know, it's driven a large chunk of my life. You know, the freedom to go places easily and see places easily. That
teleporter.
It's, you know,
the equivalent.
That's what
you're
I
sleeping. You come in and out of consciousness. You know, and you wake up in a new place. Hey, that's teleporting, man. If you can get moved while you're sleeping.
One of my best travel experiences was we were in Sevilla in southern Spain, and we got a night train to Barcelona, and we were dead tired because we had a long story. But we get on this train, we fall asleep in, you know, a nice, comfortable sleeping car, and we woke up to the Catalonian coast with the sunrise, and it was like, this is what I want for every trip.
All traveling should be like this.
This is what it should be like. You know, it should be like, you know, the same thing. We're going to Yellowstone, Yosemite, or going to, you know, Grand Canyon, or just going skiing. It's like, I'm going to fall asleep at the end of a normal day. That those dead hours that I'm not conscious of the world, use them productively. Get me somewhere cool. Get me to wake up, you know, at a great place every day, and I'll be happy. That to me is a really, really huge thing.
I love it. Yeah. Well, we should ask our listeners, what do you think will make the most positive impact? What are the things you're excited about? We'd love to hear about it. Thanks for joining us on the AI show. What questions do you have about AI? Comment on YouTube or Twitch, or tweet us at Deepgram AI. We are Scott and Susan from Deepgram.
We're certainly not robots.
And we definitely come in peace. See you next time.